What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the monthly check-in here for June 2025. Summer is pretty much officially here at this point. A lot of new music coming, a lot of different ideas are on the way as well, and I hope the same for you. Today we're going to be discussing focusing your energy on positivity. That could be in the people you work with, the people you're around on the day-to-day, or just, the things that you delegate your time to, trying to get rid of the negative energy as much as possible. But before we do that, let's get into my 3 songs for the month of June that you should be checking out and you should be giving a listen to kick off the summer season. First up this month, we have a track by the renowned DMV producer and artist named Oddisee, who I believe I covered last year when he dropped an EP, I think around the same time in May. And he actually just released another new 4-track EP called En Route. And I'd love to highlight the track called A Rare Thing, which was the first offering from this project. This one has a lot of what you'd expect from Oddisee's sound, live instrumentation, a lot of brass elements, and just gives an overall hopeful feeling. I feel like Oddisee always paints incredible stories and pictures with his music, and really just has always left me with a sense of hope and, leaving me inspired at the end of it all. And really what I got from this track was, the rarity of being able to live out your dreams in the way that you imagine them, when you were younger. And I think for him, he made this song about himself and his own life, being a Sudanese American, and just the rarity of being able to not only be alive, but be able to live out his dream of being an artist and helping others. So I really love the message in this song, and you always get a great message, like I said, from Oddisee's music. This one is no different, and it's no different in the full EP. So definitely go give this one a listen if you're familiar with Oddisee, which a lot of people are, especially people that listen to more underground hip hop. But if you're not, please go check him out. A real wordsmith, a real important individual in music. So yeah, go give that a listen, A Rare Thing, and the EP is called En Route. Next up is a collab by an MC named Science and one of my favorite producers currently, Nappy High. This one is called Magic, and it features Mick Jenkins. It's the first single from their collab project called Praises, which I'm excited to hear. It's not out currently as the time of this recording, but it might be out by the time this video drops. So definitely look into that. But Magic, great first offering. It's a very short song. I wish it was longer, honestly. I really love the style that Nappy High went with on the beat. I think that Science, his voice and his cadence fits very well over his production. So I'm excited to hear what they do on a full album. And obviously Mick Jenkins always brings energy to any guest feature that he's on. So I love his part as well. But like I said, I wish that they at least did like another chorus at the end. Because it kind of just like Mick does, I think, a 16 and then it just ends abruptly. So I kind of wish that they would do maybe an extended version or something where they at least bring a hook back or maybe a second verse, something like that. That's my only complaint, because I really love this song. I just wish it was longer. It's around 2 minutes long. But yeah, I think it's a great first offering from what we can expect from this project. Nappy High, like I said, he's one of my favorite producers currently. I heard his album Menace a couple years ago, and it made my album of the year list. Like, I just love his sound. I love the samples that he uses, the percussion, everything about him. And I didn't know anything about Science as an MC. I'm gonna have to dig into his back catalog. But I'm just excited because, like I said, this first single gives me a glimpse of what this album I think is gonna be. So be on the lookout for that, but go check this one out. It's called Magic by Nappy High, Science, featuring Mick Jenkins. Finally, this month, a track by another one of my favorite producers, Eloquent, who I've highlighted on this platform before. This one is called If Not Now, When? It's the first single from the self-titled album. Classic Eloquent sound, very buttery, very melodic, very intricate work in the drums. And this one is another shorter beat. It's going to be a part of the project that's coming out this month in June. By the time this video is out, the full album's going to be out. And I believe the album's going to be like 10 or 11 songs total. And this is a full instrumental project from Eloquent. He dropped an album, I believe, at the end of 2023. So this is his first solo project since then. But this is just a nice offering, nice first single. Nothing out of the ordinary, like I said, sound-wise from him. But I just think everything he puts out is high quality. I'm just a big fan of his style. So again, this one is called If Not Now, When? And be on the lookout for that album, because like I said, it'll be out at the beginning of June. Shout out to Eloquent, incredible producer, one of my favorites for sure. Go give that one a listen. So now to today's topic, main reason of this video, and that is about focusing your energy on positivity, something that I have really had to learn myself over the last 10 years almost that I've been making music. And I've just had a lot of time to think about my journey into being able to do that and kind of just my journey as an individual. And I think this goes way outside of music. I personally am someone that when I was in school, I'd say definitely middle school and high school, I really tended to look, so you get what I'm saying. I tended to look on the glass half empty side of things. And I really was someone that blamed a lot of other people around me for my own issues or for, things not going my way. It was a lot of immature reflecting or I guess deflecting onto others. And it was something that I didn't really realize until probably the last 5 or 6 years, ever since I've been out of school and just been living life in what they call the real world. You realize a lot about yourself, and I've been able to just grow and continue growing each year and just kind of getting better in that way and just kind of stopping myself in my tracks when I'm looking to cast blame on someone else or just say, how could I have made this situation better? I think at the end of the day, you can always control yourself and your emotions. You can't control how other people react in those situations. And that's obviously a big thing, just being able to have the conversations within yourself. But a big thing as well is surrounding yourself with positive people and positive things. Obviously, as artists, we put a lot into our art, our music. If you paint, if you sculpt, whatever you do, hopefully you're channeling a lot of your energy into your art. And that in turn is a lot more positive than certain outlets that can be self-destructive and also negatively affect people around you. So I always think about that, but finding other ways to channel positivity as well. For me, that's going on walks, just getting outside, getting some fresh air, maybe watching a YouTube video that's inspiring, maybe listening to a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts that serve me, things that are a lot more positive or inspiring. Because a lot of people can just go to any type of social platform and see something negative, and then that's going to throw off your whole day. Limiting social media use. I know with the algorithm currently, the way it works, we're seeing a lot of things we don't want to necessarily see, which sucks. So limiting your screen time, things like that, just being able to, because it's never going to be perfect, obviously, and there's negativity in a lot of different corners, especially on the internet, but just trying to figure out what it is for you that can get you surrounded with a lot more of a positive mindset. And then there's just, who is in your life at the end of the day, not people online. I'm talking about your friends, your family, the people that you actually interact with. It could be coworkers, although that's a little bit different because, you don't get to pick your coworkers, unfortunately. But again, it goes back to what I said earlier, where you have to bring your positive mindset and your positive approach, and then whatever they do with it is up to them. But how you react to that is up to you. So control what you can control, but really ask yourself, who is around me currently, and what type of energy are they giving to me? And again, I think instead of trying to battle that and really combat that and get into arguments with people, I think the biggest thing to do is just say, how do I distance myself from this person in the most constructive way possible? And it doesn't have to be a knockdown, drag out thing. you can really just do this in a very peaceful way. And there's people that are in my life currently still that I have distanced myself from, whether they know it or not. It's happened, and it's had to happen for me to grow, to continue to evolve as a person and as an individual. And has it been easy? No. Because especially when you've known someone for so long, it's like you get used to being around that person. You kind of get used to the way things are. But like I said, when you have those conversations with yourself and you say, okay, what is the next step in my evolution, in my journey? If it doesn't involve that person, you're going to have to move on in some type of way. And, I know that things have changed a lot in 10 years, and things are going to change a lot more in another 10 years for me. But it's something that I embrace, something I'm looking forward to, and seeing where that goes. And not only that, but seeing what new individuals I can surround myself with who bring the same type of like-minded energy that I do. So it's just something to ponder today, something to keep in mind, and something that, like I said, it's helped me a lot, and I hope that it helps you guys as well, because it does go a long way. We can do a lot on our own, but bringing in other energy and just kind of feeding off one another and just pushing that positivity is going to go super far, even farther than we could go on our own. So hopefully that helps you guys today. It is something to keep in mind. A few updates before we get out of here. Like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of new music coming from me. I think first to note is that my latest project called When Loves the Motive is officially on all platforms. You remember it was on Even for a while. It still is. You can go support it there. You can also support on Bandcamp. But if you just want to stream it like normal on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, it is now everywhere. Again, thank you guys so much for showing love on this project. No pun intended. I put a lot into it. It was kind of years in the making, and it evolved. This project evolved from what it originally was supposed to be to what it became. So I'm excited, but I'm also excited for the next step of what's coming in the second half of the year. I have another new project, which I'm announcing the title of this month, and I'll let you guys know now. It's called Leaves in Soil, and it's going to be a fall-themed album that will drop, I think in October is the date I have currently. It's kind of end of October into November, but I'm going to start rolling out the singles next month, so stay tuned for more information on that. I also have a cool collaboration with a producer named Cessflow, who I've been working with steadily over the last few months. We have an EP next month in July coming out called Nocturnal Fade. I'll go ahead and put the pre-save link for that in my description of the video as well. So definitely check that out. It's really cool. I've been trying to work with more producers this year and kind of combine my sound with others. And I really like what we did on this project. It's a little bit more like heavy lo-fi is how I would describe it, but it's definitely made for the nighttime, for, having some self-reflection. And I'm super, super excited to do that. We're already working on some more music as well that will hopefully come out later this year, even into next year. He's great to work with. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I feel like this came together very quickly. And we're releasing this through Soothing Soundwave Records. So like I said, the pre-save link will be in the description for that, and I'm excited for that one too. Outside of that, once again, happy summer, everybody. I think this is the official time we can say that summer is here. So be creative, continue to make awesome material. If you have any new releases or anything you would recommend me to check out this month, definitely let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys as always. New subscribers, welcome. Thanks for checking out the beats. Thanks for checking out everything I've been doing. And the love is appreciated and it is received. But we will see you next month on Monthly Check-In. Until then, take care. Have a great week, guys.